My next guest attended Bishop's University from 2010 to 2015. He then went on to play pro ball overseas in Lebanon. He's the founder of Next Level Media, JA Next Level Fitness, and Team Believe. He's giving back to the community through OC Express and Auto Hoop Stars. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jamil Abiad.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm good, man. What's up? How you feeling?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
So, first things first. Do you remember what went through your mind when you first started to see your skills improve as a young basketball player?
Man, it's so long ago, but I just remember, making my first three-pointer, being able to dribble and work on moves that I thought were pretty much impossible.
Hmm.
But it's always nice to see when your hard work kind of pays off and you're able to kind of move on to the next step.
Hmm.
So it was cool to see the hard work kind of pays off.
Hmm. And you started to separate yourself from your peers because of all the hard work you were doing. Um, did you feel good about yourself because you were at Colonel Bai, and was it one of your goals to play at the next level?
Separating myself, I'd say, was something that I knew I had to do. I mean, I always had someone in my corner kind of helping me out. I mean, you've been in my corner since I was 12, 13 years old, and
Hmm.
it's you kind of that kind of put me in that flow of basketball.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I played soccer my whole life, right? So basketball is kind of new to me.
Yeah.
And knowing that I wasn't good yet
Yeah.
and taking on kind of adversity and making goals was something that I kind of always liked to do. So eventually, when I realized, basketball was starting to be something that I started to gravitate to
Hmm.
and like,
Hmm.
I knew I had to separate myself from my peers in order for me to kind of keep propelling and moving forward.
Hmm.
So when I realized by grade 10 that, I was becoming kind of known in the city in terms of one of the top point guards,
Yeah.
it was kind of then that I realized, you know what, this is possible.
Right. Right.
So
And
yeah.
then when you went to, yeah, that's how you got to university at the University of Bishops, and you went through some up and down struggles at university, but then you went on to play professional basketball. When you look back when you're overseas at the struggles you're going through at Bishops, was it all worth it? Do you think it was like, you know what, you know?
During the time I was like, hell no, like what am I doing? Like I wanted to quit numerous times. We had many phone calls while I was at Bishops, but um, looking back, I think all those things helped me become stronger.
Hmm.
Mentally, I learned new things I wasn't even kind of enjoying. I learned how to get into fitness, work on my body, just a lot of other things that I kind of learned through the
Hmm.
struggles there.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think when I look back, I definitely appreciate
Hmm.
those things now.
Hmm.
But at the time, I was like, this sucks.
It's terrible. Um,
This
but
sucks.
they say what, doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but
Mhm.
it's not, it's part of the grind. And I tell young players all the time, just keep grinding, but sometimes you have to, pull the plug and then start somewhere else, or
Yeah.
start another chapter somewhere else, or, under another coach or whomever. But if you're pushing through, you have to understand this is the bed I've made, and I'm going to lay in it and make the best of it. But you eventually persevered and went on to play pro ball. And what were some of the good things and bad things about professional basketball in Lebanon?
Okay, well, I'll start off with the good stuff. I mean, growing up as a kid watching, the NBA and all that other stuff, you always want to picture yourself being in that environment where you're on TV,
Hmm.
you have fans, you have social media, all that other stuff. So that
Hmm.
stuff was kind of cool
Hmm.
at the beginning, but it's
Hmm.
also kind of overwhelming as well because um, it becomes now a job
Yes.
and it's not anymore leisure or for fun.
Hmm.
You can have one or two bad games, and next thing you know, you have a knock on the door, and the president of the team is telling you, one more game, you're out of here.
Hmm.
So it becomes a business, and you realize that very quickly.
Hmm.
So your mind kind of shifts in terms of what basketball really is now.
Hmm.
I mean, you can still have fun with it, but now it's like when people say, "What are you doing? What are you doing overseas?" I heard a lot of the imports that I was playing with,
Mhm.
they would always address it as I'm going to work,
Yeah.
not I'm going to play ball or I
Mm.
have practice, whatever. I'm going to work.
Mhm.
And hearing them say that kind of on and off kind of got me thinking like, this is
It's a
work.
job.
It's a job.
Mhm.
And it's not till you make that kind of switch in your head that you realize that your practice, your eating, everything now is like regimented and has to be done because the next guy is knocking at the door ready to
Mhm.
take your spot.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I realized quickly that um, it's a mindset,
Mhm.
and you have to engulf
Mhm.
everything and
Mhm.
realize that there's no messing
Isn't
around.
it? It's real.
It's real.
Yeah. And a lot of players, I think, once they go over there for a couple of years or the first 3 months, they realize, oh man, after visiting the country, seeing the sights and sounds of
Mhm.
the city that you're in, then you're like, okay, I gotta go to practice. I gotta do my workouts. I gotta eat right. I gotta do so part of those things that you've accumulated, like the experiences that you accumulated overseas, you kind of brought back
Mhm.
with you to Canada or to Ottawa. And I know you were really big on building your highlight tapes just for you to get to university. That was something that you kind of had in your back pocket. So before you even left, you started Next Level Media.
Mhm.
What was Next Level Media all about?
So the main purpose of that was to help athletes like myself.
Hmm.
Like I said earlier, I mean, I started basketball pretty late in
Hmm.
terms of when most kids start basketball.
Hmm.
And being in a small town like Ottawa, basketball is not kind of really the the forefront
Yeah.
for sports here. So I
Mm.
mean, playing high school and being recognized a little bit here by Carleton, Ottawa
Hmm.
U,
Hmm.
and Algonquin,
Hmm.
I didn't want to stay in town.
Hmm.
And I was lucky enough in grade 10 to take a journalism class
Hmm.
that kind of taught me how to use Adobe Premiere and other
Yeah.
software and cameras and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I realized, like, you know what? Why not make a highlight tape to kind of help myself
Hmm.
uh, gain some exposure, what I've been lacking from, being on these competitive teams or travel
Hmm.
teams and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So after making those tapes and kind of sending them out,
Hmm.
I realized that I was getting some pretty positive feedback,
Yeah.
and it kind of helped open one door to get to university.
Hmm.
And then when in university, I was like, why not do the same thing? Because at the time, I started getting contacted by one or two agents
Hmm.
from Lebanon
Hmm.
because of my heritage. My dad's Lebanese,
Hmm.
asking me if I wanted to come play there and stuff like that. And I was like, this has to be a
A
joke.
joke.
Like, this is not real. But anyway, so I mean, I put it together another tape in university
Hmm.
that I was able to send out to one or two agents
Hmm.
that kind of helped secure another step,
Hmm.
the next level. So coming back to Ottawa, playing now in men's leagues and all that other stuff, when I
Hmm.
was back during the season, I mean
Hmm.
off season, I realized there was like so many kids like me playing men's league, and
Hmm.
I'm like, you're super talented. Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you not in university or college or doing anything?
Hmm.
Oh, nobody saw me,
Mm.
or some kids don't have marks and stuff like that too. But I started to realize there has to be another 1,000 kids that are in my shoes.
Hmm.
So why not kind of help them or build a platform that
Hmm.
I can help give these kids the exposure that I kind of gave to myself.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the main purpose and how I kind of started Next Level
Yeah.
Media and the basis behind it.
And then when you came back from your second stint, you branched out on your own from the experience that you gained here as a trainer.
Mhm.
You'd start to do your own training, and then it evolved to you probably, how did you now get to the point where you want to you want to make a team or a program, because it was the same thing I did here. Was we're training basketball players, and
Mhm.
then they're realizing they're going elsewhere, and they're going to go back to their teams and getting kind of untrained, or you're not allowed to do a euro step, or you're not allowed to
Mhm.
do a behind the back, but you can't. So a coach will constrict them. So we said, you know what, let's start our own. Was that the same kind of mindset that you had to
Yeah,
start Team Believe?
for sure. Like I said, I mean, the cool thing about the things that I'm doing now is they kind of all intertwine.
Hmm.
Uh, one kind of helps the other and
Hmm.
so forth.
Hmm.
And like you said here, I mean, we want to train kids to have unlimited tools,
Hmm.
not just be a designated, you're a rebounder, you're a shooter, you're this or that,
Hmm.
because we know basketball is bigger than that, and what one coach might see, another coach might see something else.
Hmm.
So why limit yourself to kind of have a smaller toolbox?
Hmm.
So Team Believe kind of came around in the sense where I wanted to also give another platform, just like Next Level Media, to
Mm-hmm.
help these athletes
Mm-hmm.
get exposed. But basketball is growing at such a rapid rate that there's just talent everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So for all these kids that go to teams and get cut, where are they going?
Right.
So I think there should actually even be more teams
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to allow more kids to play, which is only going to kind of enhance the skill set of all these kids
Mm-hmm.
to make it more competitive for us to be better at basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So the basis of Team Believe was like the word it says, believe in yourself, believe what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anyone kind of belittle you.
Mm-hmm.
Always believe you can achieve more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always kind of preaching to these kids, try new things, do new things. If you believe you can do it, you're that much closer to achieving that
Mm-hmm.
step. And I haven't heard many coaches that allow all their kids to have a green light to shoot or anything like that. I want these kids to just
Mm-hmm.
kind of play and feel free.
Mm-hmm.
So that way their confidence kind of builds up and not let them be secluded and
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel like they're smaller than they actually are.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And so the Next Level Media, the personal training, and Team Believe, all three things that you said, as you said, are intertwined. Which one's more rewarding, or are they just kind of together?
because they're all so close together, I feel like the reward is the same
Mm-hmm.
because they all kind of help each other, and the
Mm-hmm.
biggest reward is seeing that player you've been working with for a few years
Mm-hmm.
make it to that next level, or that phone call you get from a kid saying, "Hey, I tried a new move in the game and it worked."
Mm-hmm.
Like those things are what it's so rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to say one is
One
more
is it,
rewarding than the other
right?
because they're all kind of so connected in a
Mm-hmm.
way.
And you mentioned briefly about, you want kids to believe in themselves.
Mhm.
Was that the whole concept behind the name?
Yeah, exactly. So like it didn't take long for me to think of a name. I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted something that could resonate with someone immediately when they read it.
Mm-hmm.
You see the word believe, and it's like believe in what? And I want kids to realize that if you can't believe in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
how am I going to believe in you, or how is a coach going to believe in you? So it starts with believing in yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
and once you can do that, I mean, the options are unlimited.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I feel the name
And you
came
have
about.
a different philosophy behind Team Believe, that you do so much more for your players. You're not just, okay, I'm gonna coach you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're gonna play on the weekends, and then you go home and you want to do a couple training sessions, some individuals, then fine. But you go a step beyond because you have these three pillars of training, the media, and the team. You do so much more for them in terms of recruiting than a lot of teams locally.
Mm.
What's your view on that? Like, can you expand on that?
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest thing for us, like you said, I have the next level media component, which has been really great to kind of combine with Team Believe because we're allowing these kids now just to focus on basketball,
Mm-hmm.
focus on their
Mm-hmm.
skills, and grow in terms of their skill set. And we will take care of kind of all the things from behind. All of our games are filmed, and we're the ones that are kind of going out there now to seek the coaches for these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like what happened to me. I mean, all these kids are playing and are talented, but because they're not highly recruited or these high level teams, uh, they're not getting seen.
Mm-hmm.
So with us having kind of the next level media aspect with this team, we're able to kind of push it out there to the coaches and show them what these kids kind of have to offer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I get calls from current clients, and they're always looking for places to play, and they want more. They seem to want more. So there's definitely a hunger and a need for players to be playing in a situation where they want more
Mm.
than just to play. So kudos to you that you're trying to provide that. Now, the demand is there. Now, do you have the capacity to add more than just the two teams you're running now?
Yeah, that's the goal. Like you said, I mean, clients are contacting you. I'm getting initially when we started the program, it was like, are we going to actually do this? Is this
Mm-hmm.
going to succeed?
Mm-hmm.
And now that we've kind of had the ball rolling now for a couple months and things are going really well,
Mm-hmm.
The need for more age groups, I think, is something that we're already looking at.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of, getting gym time and stuff like that. But we've already had interest from coaches wanting to jump on board.
Mm-hmm.
People are starting to see what we're actually doing,
Mm-hmm.
not just on the court, but off the court as well. I mean, we've added multiple components because we truly feel that these kids need to learn how to also be adults
Mm-hmm.
and learn how to be, people off the court.
Right.
So we've added, prerequisites for volunteer work.
Mm-hmm.
We've added a minimum grade point average as well in
Mm-hmm.
order to be part of the team, because we truly feel no matter how good your skills are, if you don't have these other components in your life, you're not gonna succeed.
Right.
So volunteer work, the reason we added that is we want these kids to learn how to interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
Today's day and age, everyone's just on their phone all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That when these kids now approach an adult or someone else, their conversation is very limited because they don't know how to interact well.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of did that, showed them that there's all these other things outside of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So the need to add more teams, I think, is a high demand,
Mm-hmm.
especially at the younger age, because I feel like if we can get them earlier,
Mm-hmm.
by the time they do get to 16, 17, 18, 19 years
Mm-hmm.
old,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be more rounded,
Yeah.
and not just as an athlete,
Right.
but all around,
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the vision and the goal, to add more teams as the years go on, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
And I forgot to mention, I forgot to ask you, getting yourself, the community work that you said that you have your kids do, you're out in the community. You're actually bringing the kids to different functions and
Mhm.
different fundraisers and different things. Is that an essential piece of Team Believe?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I want the community to be involved with these kids as much as possible. I want these kids to know that if they need help at any time, building these relationships with other people,
Mm-hmm.
that they can always have a helping hand no matter where it is,
Mm-hmm.
and not feel like they're trapped or only have mom or dad or coach.
Mm-hmm.
That there's other people that are supporting them and ready to see them succeed as well. So
Mm-hmm.
bridging these connections with multiple organizations or charities and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
I think is a very big asset to the
Mm-hmm.
team.
And so, all in all, the Team Believe, the Next Level Media, the training programs, you're now a full-fledged, corporation, so to
Mhm.
speak. Did you always picture yourself as a founder, CEO,
Never.
head honcho?
Not in my life. I mean, just like every kid, I thought I was gonna be playing in the NBA. That was my goal. Never would have thought. I mean, I've always been someone that has had kind of leadership
Mhm.
attributes
Mhm.
and have always wanted to kind of lead,
Mhm.
but I never thought I could never have painted this picture. And I
Mhm.
mean, a lot of it has to do with who I was surrounded with growing up. I
Mhm.
mean,
Mhm.
you're a huge part of that.
Mhm.
And seeing the kind of the things that you were able to achieve, we were able to achieve, and
Mhm.
just kind of see that growth.
Mhm.
Um, I would say is kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, Something that kind of motivated me
Yeah.
and made me want to kind of always achieve more.
Yeah. Inspiration.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was a big thing for me. And then I mean, obviously, my mom
Mhm.
raising 4 boys on her own.
Mhm.
That's kind of been always my leader there, and
Mhm.
and someone I've always looked up to,
Mhm.
because I mean, having that power that she has kind of always
Mhm.
pushed me to never settle.
Mhm.
And I feel like those two things in my life have been things that have made me become the person that I am.
Mhm. So now you're working alongside OC Express and Auto Hoop Stars with all the charity and the community outreach programs, and you have there's a clip that I saw that went viral, and you did a move that we perfected here in the gym, and tell us about that video. How that
Oh man, so we never really record anything when we go to these videos. I mean, some of the guys that are on the bench sometimes will take out their phone just to capture, a little moment that we can post up,
Mhm.
a video or a picture,
Mhm.
and it just happened at that right time. One of the guys took out his phone, and the game was close. The crowds always get really involved in these games, so it's pretty cool to see. And a lot of these kids see you in the city, and they know where you're coming from or what you do.
Mhm.
So I mean, he was talking the whole game. So when I got the chance, I mean, perfect timing. Rebound came out to me. He came out, and it was just there.
Yeah.
I had to just put it right through his legs.
And then you put
and then I pulled it back, and then I did a step back into a 3, and he hit me, and it went in.
So it went to. Did it go to mixtape? Where did it go?
It went on Overtime. It went on World Star.
Oh man.
It went on a few very big basketball channels and platforms. So never thought that would ever happen. But I mean, one person shared it to 20 to 30 to.
So it's crazy.
It was.
So you're
cool.
viral.
It went viral, yeah.
You're like Corona.
No, it was good.
So
it was good.
What we like to do is we end the segment on these quick questions, 1 word, 2 word. We call it keep it 100. So I have some for you. We're gonna throw those out there. The best player you've ever had to guard, besides me, the best player you've ever had to guard.
That I've ever had to guard. Man, it probably would have to be Marcus Banks.
Marcus Banks.
When I was playing in Lebanon, ex-NBA player. Had to guard him for a couple minutes when I was on the floor.
What happened?
I mean, you watch these guys play and it's like they're moving in slow motion. But once you step on the court and they're like, he was a bullet. Another guy too that we both know, Justin Tubbs.
Yeah.
Like that guy is a freak of an athlete.
Former Skyhawks player.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you watch these guys play and it's like they just dissect you when you're on the court. They're patient,
right?
And they just pick you apart. I mean, no matter what I tried, what I did, just went right by me. I don't know.
Okay, number 2. If you could play anybody in the world one-on-one, who would it be?
One-on-one. I mean, RIP to the Mamba.
Yeah.
It would have to be, other than you again, it would have to be him.
I think I would go there too. Yeah,
it would have to be him.
Yeah, just so I can get buckets and
just something.
Just rebound. I probably won't score. The one food you can't do without.
Chicken. Chicken.
What kind of chicken?
Oh man, you have chicken anyway. You can't go wrong with chicken.
Oh man, who's the funniest NBA player of all time?
I think you got to put Shaq up there.
Shaq's pretty funny.
Dwight Howard sometimes.
Yeah. Would you say Barkley?
Oh yeah, he's a clown. Charles and Kenny, all those guys that are on the air there.
Inside NBA.
Yeah, those guys are all Kenny, Charles, Shaq. Those guys all have a good sense of humor, I would say.
Yeah. And if you had one basketball wish, it has to be basketball related. You can only grant, someone granted you one basketball wish. What would that wish be? They're not supposed to be easy questions, so.
I mean, I always would have loved to play in the NBA. But, I mean, looking where I'm at now, I think with what we're both doing and where we've come, I think a big training facility in Ottawa would suffice my basketball wish.
Yep, I agree wholeheartedly.
That would be
crazy.
Where I'm at now. If you asked me this wish question before, I would have said the league for sure. But now you look at what we don't have and the necessity. I would say something with like 5 courts inside and kids can come play whenever and work on their skills.
It's coming.
So
soon coming.
Yeah, I know.
Jamil Abiad, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. I knew it had some people lined up before you, but I finally had to get you in, and
I appreciate
the booby is here.
It's always good to chat. Thank you.
All right, man. Cool. Peace out.